So Steve, you're doing this new character called Mark Ryan, where you're like, maybe I'll, tone it down, a little bit. I'm on parole now, so I gotta,
Some
play it
people
safe.
did say that when I put the Being Steve videos out where I talk about it. They were like, "Who's this guy that Steve's impersonating? Bring Steve back."
Right.
Yeah. Some people got really upset.
Wow. Crazy.
Like, what do you make of that? When people are like, "You lied to me. I feel betrayed."
Well, they probably
These
feel
are things that I've heard.
maybe a little bit stupid for believing it, possibly. You made people feel stupid.
But my argument is, well, it's two things. And this is what I've said online a bunch, is in order for it to be a good laugh,
Right.
a really good laugh, like I'm talking about where you feel it like up in
Right.
your chest,
Right.
it has to be believable to you.
Absolutely.
It has to be real because you have to be so excited to go like tell your friends, I found the fucking dumbest redneck on the internet. And this guy, he's in South Louisiana, blah, blah, blah. You have to really believe it for it to be. If you think it's a sketch, you're like, that's funny, but it's surface.
Right.
It doesn't hit you in the. And so I just knew it had to be real. That was the first thing. And then the other thing I would ask is like, do you feel betrayed? Like, are the laughs not like when you say it's a lie? Are those laughs somehow any less in the past?
Right. It's not a lie.
Those
It's
laughs
definitely not
that
a
you
lie.
had 5 years ago when you were laughing your fucking ass off at me,
Right.
That's in the past. I can't take that away. You already laughed.
Right.
It's already
Exactly.
fucking happened.
Yeah.
So I just get confused when people are so like, I feel like I was lied or I was betrayed. It was just all about comedy. And,
Yeah,
and me
it's
knowing
fun.
like comedy has to be really believable to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember, I thought Larry the Cable Guy, I was a kid when I discovered Larry the Cable Guy. So I didn't understand how any of that worked. I thought that's who he was.
That's the thing that's so funny. There's a ton of them.
Right.
What's the guy that he's a director now, but he used to talk like this.
Oh, right.
Oh man, what's that guy? And he was good friends with Robin Williams, but he was doing a character.
That's right. Bobcat.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Right.
Yeah, Larry's come out as doing a character. A lot of guys, and even as you've hung around comedy a bunch, you start realizing even guys really well, and they're kind of pretty much mostly who they are.
Right.
They're still turning it up
Oh,
a
absolutely.
little bit. So you could argue even that's a little bit of a character.
There's a middle ground too. As a comedy fan, I appreciate comics who are either a character like how Steve was, or they're just basically being yourself. No one is 100% themselves, or it'd be a podcast.
Some guys are pretty close.
Right.
I'd say Nate's pretty close.
Yeah, I would say so.
And Ron White.
Definitely.
That's
Dave
pretty
Chappelle.
close. Pretty Dave Chappelle. But that's a hard thing to get to because, instinctively as a performer, and this may be your wheelhouse too.
Mm-hmm.
It is for me. The big act outs and the more performance side is where I win more than my words.
Oh, right.
I would like to win more with my words, but I just instinctively, I can make people laugh more with the voices and the faces and the act outs and all that stuff like that.
Right.
So, it's like you go to where the laughs are.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that happened to me young because I was like, well, I want to be more authentic. I don't want to talk about real things. And I would talk about that. And I could see the audience looking at me like, oh, that's sad. We feel sorry for him. And I'd be like, back to the dick jokes. Here we go.
Yeah. That was the thing I noticed that weekend that we did down in Alabama, getting to watch you do stand up. I like your style of you kind of go 0 to 60 out of nowhere. It's that transition is always so funny, without ruining your bits. But like, what I mean? I like that.
I've never heard anybody recognize that. That is actually something I learned in acting class.
Really interesting. Okay.
At LSU.
Okay.
I had this acting teacher that said it's way more interesting to see a guy go from crying to angry on a dime than to slowly see him just build into anger and then go. It's way more interesting to see him just snap and go, but fucking goddamn it.
Right.
So it's I learned that the hard shifts were more interesting.